All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Just One Fern. We got Gavin McLeod on today. Very excited to have you on, man. How are you? How's everything been like during this quarantine time? How you getting through?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Very nice to meet you too.
Likewise.
It's weird. This is my first Zoom podcast.
It's
I've only
so
done
strange.
one podcast before this.
Okay.
So it's a very special moment.
Yeah.
No,
they're cool.
I've been okay. I mean, just kind of trying to work through all the weird time. We just went into lockdown again today, where I'm living. So.
Wow. Okay. So
Weird.
what does that entail?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
So I'm just outside of Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
So all of Ontario just went into kind of the second lockdown stage.
Okay.
So that's, you can see 5 people outside, no leaving your house, all that stuff. Which I feel like, at the start everyone was really scared of it, and now it's everyone's just really annoyed at this point. And
Yeah.
musicians
Yeah.
want to get back to work, and
yeah.
it's such a pain.
Dude,
Yeah, but you've actually been able to gig a little bit over quarantine, right? I'm saying that's awesome. Like you're lucky. I know you did like the drive-in one and a couple others. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I think I counted, and I've done about 30 quarantine gigs,
Mhm.
or gigs since March, which
Wow.
I feel like there's like a bit of a moral obligation there. Like, I don't know if I should be doing them or shouldn't. But if people are willing to, hire me to play somewhere, then I got to take it.
Mhm.
It's my thing.
Yeah.
So that ranges everywhere from, like, we did a drive-in show, which was really cool, and we can chat about that. But I did a lot of just like driveway shows for people's birthday, or outside of a business or something
Yeah.
like that. So there was a
Right.
lot of that too. And then there was restaurants that weren't in the city,
Mhm.
that kind of restrictions sort of eased as you get out of the city,
Yeah.
out of Toronto. So we'd play a couple shows up north, and we played a show on a beach. It's been a productive year. It just feels like any of the momentum you build from any show like that, you can't really keep it going, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I feel like Canada's got it down on lock, though. Like, I feel like you guys are doing things a lot better than, well, I mean, obviously doing things a lot better than we're doing here. But no, has it been, so like you said, you've played 30 gigs, like, have people been reaching out to you, or has it mainly been like you having to go find them? Like, are people openly looking for gigs or like acts to come in?
That has to be tough.
Well, it's funny. So I put it this way: like, before COVID, my main thing was just like trying to look for gigs. I feel like a lot of like people I know would be spending that time like trying to get on a playlist or
Mhm.
build their Spotify numbers, and like my thing was just trying to play live as much as possible. So
Yeah.
I'd kind of like dial that process in of like reaching out to different gigs, and then when you get one gig, using that as leverage for another one. So
Yeah.
Right.
that was kind of like, I was used to that at that point. So throughout the whole COVID thing, no one was looking for gigs, but I just find them here and there,
Yeah.
reaching out to festivals and like, oh, are you still doing it, or what? What's the plan?
Right.
It's weird though. Like, nothing came easy, and like every gig that we did have, the better the better the show was, the weirder it was setting it up, and like getting to the gig and everyone is in masks, and
Yeah.
it's been strange that
Wow.
way.
Is it like? Do you feel like it impedes on? I mean, obviously, it's gonna like take away from some of the experience, but like, what's some of the weirder things you've had to do? Like, how much has it changed, like, since before?
That's tough. I think musicians are very social creatures. So
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
post show meet up with people is really
Uh-huh.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause,
Oh
like,
yeah.
you don't know how far people want to push it. They come up to you and you're like, maybe you don't want to,
Yeah,
be talking to them,
yeah.
and that part's so important, especially like if you're making, if you're not making much money for a gig and you got to sell a CD, like a big part of that is going up and like meeting a person.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. You
not
gotta make
everyone's
those
down for that
connections.
these days.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, on the topic of gigs, probably the biggest story that we saw on most of your social media pages was the accident that your band got into on the way to a gig. And I can't believe this. So you got into the accident and then you went and played?
Yeah. So we're
That's
playing up
nuts.
in this.
You're
That's sick.
fucking crazy. I can't believe it.
Boys, thank you. That was and to be completely honest, I don't know if this is bad or good. As soon as that happened and I realized everyone was okay, I had no clue about the gear. I was like, there has to be a way we make this gig tonight
Wow.
because
There's a will, there's a way. Yeah.
That's real. Yeah.
for a couple of reasons. Like, first of all, it was COVID time, so we're not gigging usually, so we had to like,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, this was our first gig in 2 weeks. We're like, okay, we have to make it number one, and also it was just a story. It was like, okay, if we're all fine, then we're gonna find a way to make it. And we like the show was an hour away,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm.
the crash happened on this like highway. It was like 5 or 6 o'clock, so it was getting kind of dark, and
Yeah.
people were like whipping by, and I had kind of screwed up my leg, but I didn't really realize at the time. So I got out of the car and like tried to get the guy's information, and
Yeah.
it was just like it was very scary. It was my first time ever experiencing something like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
I realized our car was pretty screwed up, and we got like the other guy got towed away, and we somehow drove the car to the collision reporting center, and
Wow.
You still drove that thing?
oh yeah.
How was
It looked pretty screwed up. Like
It looked
that thing
real
was
bad.
totaled.
No, okay, so the picture I posted was the guy who crashed into us.
Oh, okay, that wasn't
all
you.
right, all right, that's better.
'Cause
Sorry,
that was
okay, so
bad.
this is like an unsponsored ad for Jeep. We were in this like jacked up Jeep, and the thing just took it like a beast.
Wow.
It just because this guy was going probably 90 kilometers an hour and just like slammed into the back of us. Because we were stopped for a while. And I had nowhere to go left.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was nowhere to go right, and there was just nothing I could do except.
So
brace
you
for
were,
impact.
you guys were stood still, and then he just came
we
full
were
speed.
we were playing the new Chris Stapleton record, and we were like
Nice.
just stoked for the gig, and like that record's great, by the way.
Yeah, no, that record's really good.
It's so good. And I just looked in the mirror because we were stopped for a good 30 seconds, and I looked left and right, and this guy was like, he was not stopping. It was kind of after a bend in the highway,
Yeah.
and everyone had come to a stop in front of us, but we were stopped for a good 30 seconds, and he just,
Jeez.
I don't know if it was distracted driving or whatever. He was old.
So was it just like you're sitting there like, this guy's gonna hit us? I think he's gonna hit it, and he's definitely gonna hit us, and then he hits you. Like, was that the progression?
Ow.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've never experienced that before, like someone like looking in your mirror and having someone hit you at that speed,
Yeah.
it's you don't think it's gonna happen until it does happen. But
Yeah.
he's like it's too
Like he
close
has
to you, and,
brakes. He'll stop.
yeah, you got to assume that. And then like after, not to get too into car accidents,
Yeah.
like after the fact, you're just like
It's really
scared
dark
while you're
right now.
driving for the first couple months.
Yeah.
That
You're like looking in your
bet.
mirror, like, oh my god, is this
who's coming for me? Yeah.
Yeah. There was I got into an accident my freshman year of college where the hood of my car just flew up. Like I was driving on the highway and all of a
No.
sudden I hit a
I
bump
remember you telling me
and it
about
just
that.
flew up, smacked my windshield. I was terrified to drive for like a good 2 months after that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
bet.
So rough.
No, did you get into a crash after that?
No, so I don't know how I did it. Like something kicked in where it was just instinct, but so it hit, and then luckily I was like in the right lane, so I just had to like slow down. There weren't a lot of people behind me, so I like slowed down and just like used my mirrors to like somehow get over to the side of the road. But it was absolutely insane. Like I have
Driver
no idea.
instructor would be proud. That's good.
My dad's driver's ed
That's
teacher.
called
So
blind instinct.
I have you saying the thing about the like it's getting like bigger, like it's coming towards you, like you don't know what to do. Reminds me of this really terrible dad joke. I have to tell it. I'm sorry, but
No.
you're gonna hate this.
don't do it.
Okay, so I'm doing it. It's too late.
He's doing it.
So it goes. I was outside and I saw the frisbee. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I couldn't figure out why. And then it hit me.
I want you to get off my podcast right now. I've had enough of
I'm
this.
so sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
liked it, Lucas. That was good.
Thanks, Gavin.
Don't-
You know
no,
what? I appreciate
Gavin,
that.
don't do this. Don't do this.
And I've heard it. I've probably heard it a couple times.
Yeah, not very original.
So
So
after I got hit, I couldn't remember much.
So you got so like first of all, your leg was hurt, and you still like I saw it. Was that gig where you were in the chair?
Yeah,
That was that gig because that's nuts.
Yeah, and you were playing
Yeah, it
pretty
was-
good. Like you seemed like you're like
you seem like you had no
I-
trauma. You're just
oh,
like
boys,
it's music time.
I was shook up. It was I mean, like once I got into it, it was fine, but it was definitely like a slog trying to get through that entire gig. Because we play
No, I
that
bet.
club for like it's like we do a 3-hour slot, so we'll do like an hour 20 and then like a 20-minute break, hour 20.
Mhm.
And it usually goes
Mhm.
long and deep into the night. So it's
Yeah.
I just knew I was in for a long one, but like I don't know if the club's gonna watch this. We're like good friends with them now after that. But they were like I called them right after the accident. I was like, I don't think we like we just got in an accident. I'm gonna try to come, but
Yeah.
you know the car's
Right.
totaled. Like
Mhm.
there's no way we can drive this thing. But if my dad can drive us, then we're coming up, and I'm gonna play it in a chair. And he's like, dude, he's like, please stay home. I'll find the.
Yeah.
Find another
Don't come.
I was like, nah, I gotta, because at this point, it's one of the first clubs. You know, we were just getting to that point where we were playing a couple places regularly, and then like
Yeah.
building a fan base in that
Mhm.
town. So we had a couple people that were there that night. Obviously, it was a reduced crowd because of COVID, but you know, there's probably 20 people that were there just to see us, which was like the first time in our career where that's happening. And of
That's
course,
so
it's happening
cool.
during
That's
a
sick.
That's
pandemic.
awesome, man.
But it's sick, and like they've been really supportive. So, you know, I wasn't gonna let those folks down, and I was gonna give them
Yeah.
a story if I could.
Yeah.
So
That's true rock
Yeah,
star shit. That's
Yeah,
like
it is.
man.
true rock
It reminds
star.
me. Have you seen Whiplash? There's a scene like that in Whiplash.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
movie's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That movie's amazing.
You're like trying to channel your inner. I don't remember what the guy's name is, but like I will show up. I will
There's
see
two
this
guys in that
gig.
movie. It's the bald guy and there's the drummer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, drummer
it's,
guy,
It's
yeah.
Miles Teller. is the
Miles,
actor.
yep, that's it.
There we are.
Yeah.
He's great.
That movie's fantastic. I love when music movies break into the mainstream like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
because like people who don't care about jazz drumming are like watching that and getting inspired.
Yeah.
I think I got the same feeling. I just finished watching Queen's Gambit, that chess show.
Oh, I haven't
You
seen
guys
it
seen
yet.
it?
I gotta
Oh,
watch it.
How is it?
Oh, it's dope. It's like
Everyone
one of the,
said
and
it's
I
so
don't really
good.
watch Netflix shows, but like that show, like for a guy who doesn't care about chess, I feel like it's the way that people would feel about like a music movie.
Okay.
Right.
You're like, oh, this is super inspiring and like well done and
Yeah.
makes you interested in something.
That's so cool. No, I gotta watch that. I also like all these music movies that are coming out. Like there's so many I guess not what is the term? Biopics? Like biopics?
biopic?
Yeah, whatever, however you pronounce it.
Bionicle, I think.
Bionicles, the Bionicle movies that have been coming out. No, I feel like there's so many of them now, and I don't want them to get I don't want people to get sick of them, you know, because I feel like I love them so much,
Yeah.
but I'm afraid that people will.
Well, dude, look how many Marvel movies came out. I mean, if they do them good, I don't think people are gonna get sick of them.
I don't think people are gonna care.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
that's like the Queen movie. I never saw the Queen movie when
Really?
it came out, but like everyone watched it.
yeah,
And then it got like I love Queen, but it got annoying to a point where like everyone in my school was singing Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah.
and you're like, oh, man.
Dude,
And then
you
I
can
heard-
ruin any song like that. Just
I
like
know.
too many people just singing
Like,
along.
and then I heard who's that guy? He was on SNL recently. Timothy Chalamet. He's gonna be like the Bob Dylan in the new Bob Dylan movie.
He is.
Apparently,
Wow.
and I'm a Bob Dylan
Oh.
freak. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite artist of all time, and he's I'm like, oh, I hope that's not the biggest thing in the world. And then everyone's, I mean, you kind of want everyone to like get on board with it, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't want it to get annoying.
Everybody's singing like a rolling stone. They're trying to do the voice. Oh, it's
It's gonna be a
sad.
TikTok trend. It's gonna be a,
Oh,
nightmare.
That's rough. Well, I mean, if Timothy Chalamet's in it, it's gonna be big. So like,
For sure.
it might
Yeah.
happen. Like it might, you know, people might ruin some Bob Dylan songs. But so yeah, you're a big Bob Dylan guy. I feel like you're very like folk and blues like oriented. Like I feel like in most of your songs, I hear a lot of that kind of style coming through. Would you say that those are two of your biggest influences in that way, or like what about Bob's Dylan music do you carry over into your stuff?
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things. I actually wish I listened to more like a broader array of music, but just at any given time, it's like recently it's been a lot of Bob Dylan. It's always been Neil Young for me, and then just in the last year, I've just like dove deep on Dylan stuff and the band stuff, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's really important to dive back into that stuff, whatever it is. It could be like 80s music. You could get really into
Yeah,
like New
yeah.
Order or something, but whatever it is, like going back and looking at that stuff and really researching it, it just makes your music just more realized in the modern day.
Yeah.
Because like
yeah.
the things that people like in music never change.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff Dylan was singing about, like people sing about today still in a different way. So you've
Yeah.
got to do your research and like go back, and
Mm-hmm.
if you enjoy it, it's even better because then you can, do that research and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
enjoy it as music too.
Well, also, like with someone like Bob Dylan, like you could study him your entire life and still have like stuff left to learn. Just an
Yeah.
incredible songwriter.
100%. I have like books of like people, like university professors talking about his lyrics, and like it just goes so deep, and I just get nerdy about that stuff. So
No,
Yeah, I
it's
like
so
it.
cool. I
Yeah.
remember when I'd gotten to Bob Dylan once, and then and I was like, all right, whatever. And then the second time I did like lyrical deep dives for like every song on Highway 61. And then I was like hooked. I was like, oh my God, like this guy, I don't sometimes I'm like, I think you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the other half the time I'm like, you're genius. Like, I don't know how,
Yeah.
or he makes me laugh. He's like tongue in cheek sometimes. I love that.
Yeah.
Like he has one song. He's like one of the lyrics is like a midget shouting the word now. That's just a line.
What's that piano ballad? Ballad of
yeah.
yeah.
Ballad of a Thin Man. That's the one.
I feel like being that way lyrically, you have to have that volume of music because he has like so much music. Where I feel like if like everyone's so single based these days, and like everyone I know, all these musicians like they'll release one song and they'll promote it for 2 months. But you couldn't come out and like release a song and just be so abstract with the way you talk about your lyrics.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people would think you're. I mean, you can do that, but then you're just like some wacko artist,
Right?
So you've got to be a little more on the nose with your lyrics because like everything, you're just talking directly to people and they're just putting the single on and listening to it.
Yeah, you're kind of restricting yourself, you know.
Yeah,
which is sad.
And I also, I would love to know your opinions on this because I feel like there's a lot of good protest music from back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
and it comes across the right way now. Like it doesn't seem cheesy when you listen to Ohio by Neil Young. You're like, oh, this, this feels like exactly what he felt at the time. But I feel like it's harder to write protest music now. Like it comes across as cheesy for whatever reason. Anytime I ever hear it, I'm like, I don't know, it just misses something for me.
You know, I've never like thought about that, but you're so right. Like I feel that in the past it was like you were writing protest music. Like you were, especially the Vietnam War, like you were writing music about protesting the Vietnam War and that was what you did. And then now it's like I do see some that well, granted, I think not to get too, political with it, but I feel that now like a lot of people who are white that are writing protest music, it's kind of like, well, what are you doing? Like, I don't know why you're writing this right now.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the cheesiness that I feel.
See that.
But yeah, I don't know. But then again, I look at like Kendrick Lamar's rap album, Damn, and like that is super like protesty and like people don't really hear it at first, like listen through. But like if you actually like dive into the lyrics, it's very in that style. So yeah, but I totally agree with you. I think I always look at different protest music now and I'm like, this is cheesy to me.
Yeah. I love that record, man.
It's so good.
It's funny enough, I like back in like 2015 or whenever Pimp a Butterfly came out.
Yeah.
I got into that record. And it's funny thinking of like, like I grew up like decent house, middle class in Canada.
Yeah.
White kid. I was like 16 years old listening to that record, but like that record changed my life. It's one of the best pieces of music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And like I almost put that in a different category than rap music, and I'm not disparaging rap music, but like I don't listen to Travis Scott or like there's so much rap music I don't listen to, and I'll probably listen to it one day, but that record, like I just want to hear more rap music that sounds like Kendrick Lamar in that era.
Well, like when I'm listening to I feel like there's two different kinds of people that listen to rap music. I think one of them is the people who listen for the beat and they want that feeling that they physically get from the beat. And then there's the people who want to listen to the lyrics and they want to like see all the cool things that they're doing in their lyrics with double entendres and, all the different things that they're doing poetically in their songs. And I feel like there's people who, if you listen to Kendrick Lamar, you're kind of getting the whole thing. Like you're getting both.
Yeah.
And,
completely.
That's one of the things that makes him so special. Like he can reach across out of any like boundaries as far as like being able to relate to like, cause he talks about some like serious shit and especially in, like To Pimp a Butterfly and stuff. And like you at 16 years old, like white kid, like he said, you're still like, yeah, this is still good. Like, this is still like, I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
And it makes you think. It's one of those like, it's the same way that, Dylan stuff or Beatles stuff to a lesser extent, because that was more the music made you think, but the lyrics and like all that Kendrick stuff, like he brings up points and then you have to like actually think about them, which I think is something that music should always do somehow. Either you have to like think about the music or you have to think about the lyrics, and it should challenge you. Otherwise, you're like, what do you? And I'm not even saying my music does that, but you're striving to do that at least.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Right,
with
you're
you.
like always trying to walk that line between like pushing, pushing like the boundary maybe a little bit, like trying to challenge the listener, but also at the same time, like we said about like the abstract lyrics or like right to the point lyrics, you have to keep it reeled back a little bit so people don't feel uncomfortable
Mhm.
or they like
Mhm.
have something to latch onto.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel like we talked about this in our last interview with Evan Blair, who's also in Toronto. You should definitely talk to him if you
Oh
haven't.
yeah.
But so
I think I saw him on TikTok.
yeah, no,
'Cause
he's
Yeah, yeah.
I
he's
went
a,
on your account.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, I clicked on him, and I was like, oh, I've seen this guy on.
He's a
that app.
songwriter for Sony, and he's just like he's
Wow.
amazing. Like he's so smart. But yeah, so we were talking with him about like older people not liking new music, and we were saying like I always think it's crazy how like people in the writing that music, that protest music, now like that was their rebellion. Like they were like, this is our songs, and then now they look back and they're like, that was good music, but today's protest music not good. And it's like, well, what? It's the same thing as you're just old now. Like what are you doing?
Yeah, I said this to a guy. I work at a guitar store, and there's a guy there who's like a little older than me, and he didn't understand the like modern. I guess I don't know what to call it, but like the modern guitar player music, which is like it's like John Mayer style neo soul, like
Mhm.
that sort of thing.
Which I love.
I do too. I'm
Love
not
it.
as into it as like some people, but I like it's a great
I'm
style.
a big John Mayer guy. Love
Oh,
him
yeah.
to death.
I like hide my. I mean, I love John Mayer a ton, but like
Yeah,
you almost have to like hide it if you're trying to
I know.
be your own artist. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
he's like it's such.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that just reaches back to all the right areas,
Mhm, yeah.
and you could really use him as like a launching point or a reference for, like, if you want to be a blues guitarist or
Yeah,
a songwriter or like there's just all these different influences that he pulls from,
yeah.
He's super versatile.
and he's like a benchmark artist for me and my band because we love him. We go to all his shows when shows were a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Jeez.
anyway, this guy I was talking to, you know, he comes from like he likes the Misfits and like punk music and stuff, and
Mhm.
he's like, that new stuff, I don't understand it. It's like it's not, the guitars don't sound the same, and it's not good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that makes sense because you're a little older and like you're the old guard. And that should be the transition that happens, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe if he doesn't like it, that's kind of a good sign in a way. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's the way.
Or else there's
Well,
no
it's funny
evolution.
we're speaking about Bob Dylan, and if we
Mhm.
want to go back on that, it's like my dad hated Bob Dylan. He he grew up on like Depeche Mode and New Order and like
Okay.
Simple Minds and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So his parents loved that stuff.
Mhm.
He grew up not liking it, and then I grew up like going back 2 generations.
Yeah.
It's just so weird because you almost don't want to like what your parents like.
Yeah.
it's a good
Yeah.
sign.
You're so
don't.
right.
You gotta rebel.
I always it happens to me all the time. Like, granted, I was very lucky. Like when I was brought up, my parents played every kind of music like imaginable except for pop and rap. And so like the minute that I like
There it
got
is.
my own phone, I got Spotify. I was like, I'm gonna listen to every pop and rap record that is on this thing, and I still do it to this day. And that's why I now like make pop music because that's what I love to do. And I feel like it's because I wasn't shown any of it for the longest time.
Man, I grew up with. I was of that mindset. Like, I don't know what it was, but I feel like as a 13-year-old boy, it was like Justin Bieber sucks.
Yeah, no,
And I'm
you're
gonna
so
tell
right.
everyone.
You're so right. Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm gonna be very vocal about like me not liking Justin Bieber and Selena
Yeah.
Gomez or whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause I like Led Zeppelin and I'm cool.
Yeah.
That was, like,
Exactly,
this,
yeah.
like, thing. And then you like grow up and realize that some of that pop music is like
Like kind of
so
really good.
incredibly produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like not only that, but it has to rise above so much else because
Mhm.
there's a million artists making pop music.
Mhm.
So like you listen to like an Ariana Grande song, you're like, wow, and you look at the writing credits, and I would never ever listen to that as an enjoyable thing, but you can listen to it and be like, this is very well done.
Yeah. No,
know?
it's
Yeah.
crazy. The production levels on all of these things. But you're so right. Like, there's so many people putting out music right now, whereas back when Led Zeppelin was the shit, it's like, well, there weren't as many bands out there. Like, you had to actually be signed to a label in order for people to hear you. So, like, everything is so different now that people actually have to compete more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. But you said, but with speaking of John Mayer, uh, he is now like the front guy for Dead and Co, right?
Mm-hmm.
And didn't you, Aaron? You have this written down. You got your
Yeah, didn't Dead and Co repost your video or like posted a video of you playing?
Yeah, that's mad. I was
that's
I was
so cool.
sitting right where I'm here,
Yeah.
and I got a message from my friend. Actually, earlier that day, there was all these like followers coming in on Instagram, and I got like 200, 300 new followers in an hour. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't usually happen. And I guess the mention got lost in that like mix of
Okay.
follower notifications, so
Yeah.
I didn't actually see it. And then my buddy Max is like, "Yo, man, you check this out," and he sent me a screenshot. It was that was really
nuts.
cool because
That's crazy.
and I knew immediately. I was like, "Oh, damn it! There's gonna be so many like purists who hate this."
Yeah, just roasting you in the comments.
Right. Oh man.
Like this
But
isn't
like
how guitars
you just
played.
learn, man. Like from from like back in the like I used to make YouTube videos, and I just learned to filter out all the hate comments because
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
It's cool that they reposted it, and like I'm very humbled by that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't choose the clip, and I'm amused by all the comments, so
Yeah.
it's just like net positive. And I picked up like 1,000 new fans that
Right.
That's nuts, man.
and then
Did
I
it,
got
like-
into this weird
That's
mindset the
amazing.
day after where I felt like I had to post stuff that would appease those people.
Okay.
And
Do you think
Oh.
that was that a good thing in your mind or?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to have to like adhere to. You want to make your music, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But then I don't know, there's weird times where something like that happens and you're like, okay, I have these new eyeballs on me. I have to
Mm-hmm.
appease them.
Yeah.
But the best thing possible would just be not like to not know how many followers you have and just keep posting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get glimpses sometimes, but like not think about it too much because the best thing to do is just keep doing what you do because that's when you're going to be at your best, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Dude,
I agree with that for sure.
I totally agree. So I guess let's like dive in a little bit more to like your music. So I was listening to your stuff on Spotify, and your song "Rhyme and Reason." First of all, I love it. I think it's so good. It gave me. I don't know if are you like submitting your songs to like TV shows and stuff. Like, are you pitching? Do you have like publishing and stuff?
It's so funny. I actually just got my first publishing deal yesterday. I
Really?
won't say who, but
Wow.
it was we'd been in talks for a while. I haven't signed it yet. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if I'm going to or if I am or whatever. We won't get into that, but I've always everyone's always told me about syncing and trying to sync your music, and I've never like written music with that in mind, but I
Mhm.
definitely made that song inspired by the Black Keys.
Okay.
Like just for that one.
can-
I'm not not all my music is, but I was like, I kind of want to make a song that has that sort of shuffle.
I
groove
heard that in
and,
the riff for
um,
sure.
yeah. No. 100%.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
we were totally like going off that like new Black Keys record, which like it was like that mixed with a couple other things, and I think we didn't exactly hit that mark, but I like what the song became, and
No, you made it your
Uh,
own for sure.
Yeah.
but it's funny because I mean a lot of that stuff, Black Keys stuff, is like very syncable stuff. Like it's you hear it on
Yeah.
commercials and stuff all the time, and
Yeah. No, dude, I was thinking because when I first heard it, it reminded me like in the same style. Obviously, it's different, but you know that song that was really famous for a while there by Alt J. I forgot what it was called. But it was big because it was on the show Outer Banks. Like that
Oh,
was
yeah,
the,
yeah.
and so like that
100%.
it like blew up on TikTok. Like everyone was using it on TikTok. Yeah, yeah.
That one, yeah.
And I just was like, I feel like your song "Rhyme and Reason" would be perfect on that show. I feel like it matches up perfectly. So I definitely think you should be submitting this to as many shows as you can because it fits the vibe for so many different scenes that could be happening. Like, I don't know. I just
Hey
feel
man,
like
well I appreciate that. The EP I have coming out, I did with that same producer, and it's like
Okay.
a very like not similar sounding, but like you can see where the language of that song and like all these other songs are similar,
Mhm.
and they're like inspired by certain things, and so yeah, I'll definitely take that advice and get those tunes up when
Yeah,
I just like
definitely,
I'm
man.
so new to this like that side of the business
Mhm.
that I'm still learning that as I go, and TikTok and Instagram have been good tools to kind of learn that,
Yeah,
and meeting people like you
definitely.
guys and getting suggestions to do things like that
Yeah,
is
of
very
course.
important
Yeah.
because I have like no clue as far as like getting my songs on TV. I have no
Mhm.
clue what I'm doing. So
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's a completely
Yeah.
like we've learned so much already from even like just doing this podcast for like a few months. Like, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, just talking to people. Yeah, they'll tell you like the craziest things.
Yeah.
I remember specifically for TV shows. I saw a TikTok actually about it. Apparently, you can if you go to the credits for any show, so one of the credits will be for music supervisor, and they'll have their name, and you can just Google them and find their email and just send them your song. Apparently, it works.
Was
I
that
haven't
Ari
tried it.
Herstand?
What?
The guy who said that, was it Ari Herstand?
I don't
He's
remember.
like an afro, like curly hair.
Yeah, I think that was because I think I
Oh.
saw that. I think that's that guy.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, yeah.
I still barely know how that app works, but I saw a guy reacting to that video or whatever, and I was like, oh, I actually own that guy's book. The guy
Oh,
who
really?
initially said that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great
That's
book.
sick.
It's like, I think it's called How to Make It in the New Music Business.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
That's cool.
Dude, I don't like, a lot of people read lots of different books and stuff.
Mhm.
The only things I ever read are like music related or like music business related
Yeah,
books.
no, I do the same things. I mean, granted, that's all I read in college was just music business stuff. But yeah, Lucas, we should get that book for a few of our professors who clearly need to know how to make it
Oh
in
my
the new music
God.
industry.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into that right now. But
We know how to make it in 1960. and
Yeah.
that's it. Unfortunately.
but yeah, man, tell us more about like the EP. What should we be looking for? Like, what should we be looking forward to? Like, are there going to be music videos? I know you were filming some. Like, what's going on with it?
Yeah, so we've got a song called Like This that's coming out next month. And we've got we did a music video for that.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a music video for Rhyme and Reason that we shot last summer.
Okay.
That I initially was going to release last summer, but like when the single dropped.
Okay.
But, just life gets in the way, and
yeah.
it just seemed like a better idea to hold on that until the EP came out. So,
Mhm.
The whole promotion cycle kind of leads up to more than one video.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got 2 videos that we shot them both during COVID,
Mhm.
which was had its own set of
Yeah, how
problems
did
and-
that go? Was it like, did you do it independently? Did you hire someone to do that? Like, how did that look like, or what did that look like?
Yeah, so the Rhyme and Reason video we did in the summer, and I had this idea to do like a one-take shot around my house, starting in the front yard and kind of like venturing through the house, and then the band appearing in the background in different
Mhm.
shots,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then choreographing it so when the camera moves, the camera's following me around, and then the
Mhm.
band would go to their spot number 2,
Okay.
unbeknownst to the camera. So then
Yeah.
the camera gets to like the first chorus, and the band is all there all of a sudden.
Oh, that's
And
so
then
cool.
that's
second
cool.
chorus, the band like appears in a different spot outside.
Yeah.
And then third chorus, they're in the garage, but like you don't see them moving around.
Wow.
You just see me. So it
That's
was
so
like
cool.
it was like a fight against time because we
Yeah.
had only so much time with the light.
Right.
And then there's a scene where I jump in the pool at the end, and it was all one take. So it was like it was
So you
just
had to get it
madness
right.
try to do that.
So you had to get it right like the
Wow.
first time.
Yeah. And like
That's so cool.
jumping in the pool, I had to go, if we reshot it, I had to change into a new set of clothes and like dry the hair, and it was just
Right.
it was madness.
Oh.
Wow. So how many times did you have to redo it, or did you not have
I think
to?
we shot it 5 times, I think.
Wow.
5 sets of wet clothes.
5 different
Yeah.
outfits. That's amazing. I love that.
I mean, it was one of those things. I think it was more just me like going crazy in quarantine and like coming up with some
Yeah.
stupid idea. But like I'm so stoked.
No,
on
I love it.
I think that's
Yeah.
I love the like one take music videos. They're always so good. Like I love
Dude,
them.
I initially when I had the idea, I was like, okay, what on my budget, which is like completely self-funded
Yeah.
quarantine musician,
Yeah.
what can I do? And like I knew a guy who had a good camera and like a guy who wanted to direct it. And my band is like, always down to like work for beer, really.
Yeah. That's
It
yep.
was
That's
just
the,
like it
that's
was
the
a good
industry.
situation, and you initially think like a one-take music video is going to be the way to go because it's one take. It's got to be
Yeah.
easy
Right.
to save on editing costs. Like the amount of like coordination and shit that goes into like doing that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's so much extra, but it's like it's fun, and there's so many great one-take music videos out there that you can kind of
Mm.
get inspired from.
I know OK Go does like a lot of those.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Okay, Go is a classic one.
I
Those are
almost
so
like
good.
their music videos more than their music.
I feel
but-
like I definitely like their music videos more than their music.
I don't-
Nothing against their music. I'm not.
No, nothing against them. It's just they have really good music videos. That's,
Yeah.
that's it.
Let's just say there's a lot of bands that are good, and you would never like. There's so many bands I think are good and I respect, and I would never like go put their record on.
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
You
you don't
s-
have
yeah.
to. You don't have. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
That's.
Yeah.
I've never thought about.
Or like someone
that.
would ask you like, "Oh, do you listen to this band?" You're like, "Oh, of course."
Yeah,
you
yeah.
never- like-
I do that
I know that band.
constantly. I'm so bad when it comes to that. People will be like, "Hey, do you know this person?" I'm like, do I know them? Yeah, I've heard them. I've heard a song maybe, but I'm gonna say that I've listened to their whole discography. And then they'll
We
play.
should almost make an agreement here to like next time someone asks if you've listened to someone, you should just say no if you haven't.
Yeah, no,
I've dug myself into a hole so many times.
you know what?
Yeah.
It would save so much stress if I just said no.
Totally.
Damn.
I've
All right,
gone the opposite route.
I'll join that agreement right now. I'll say next time.
I'm just gonna listen to everything, I think, and so I don't
That is a good call too.
have to.
I'm never gonna sleep again. I'm just gonna.
I'm never
listen.
gonna starting right. I'm gonna go. I don't have any time.
All right. Okay. We'll see you
So
later.
I'll see you guys.
I wanted you to leave after that dad joke, so I guess the time has come.
I wanted to leave after the dad joke, so that.
So I guess with the new EP, what are the influences? What I guess genre-wise, are they going to be similar to Rhyme and Reason, or is it going to be different than that? What should we be looking forward to?
Yeah, we did this over about a year. Like we started recording it about a year ago.
Okay.
And not that it took a year, but it was just we'd go in for 2 songs, then we went in for another song, and then COVID hit, so it took 3 months to get back in the studio.
Yeah.
And initially we wanted to release that EP last March because we had a couple festivals lined up and it just made sense, and we had like most of the songs done.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 3, I ditched a couple songs, and then the last 3 were done during quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit like, in that sense, it's a bit of a mixed bag of stuff, which I feel like a lot of EPs are. But this one in particular, because it was done, every time I'd go into the studio, I was listening to something different, and I was like really inspired by something different. So, and it's probably annoying to record me as a producer.
Dude, I feel like everything I listen to, like all your videos and stuff, your voice is so adaptive. Like you're just able to like shift into these different styles that you're playing, like more so than
I don't know if that's
heard
good or
other people.
bad, man. Because I feel like I haven't found my voice yet.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, like
Okay.
I know I found it because I'll play certain covers and I know it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what I want to sound like on my records, and then writing a song to match that is sometimes tough.
Yeah.
Like to sound exactly like you want to sound, and
That's hard, man.
and not be too rip-offy. Like you don't want to like say, okay, I want to sound like this Bahamas record and just like completely rip it off. But
yeah. I feel
like
like
so a lot of the songs on there are, I mean, they're quite different. There's one that's like, there's like a really nice acoustic ballad.
Okay.
There's one that's got this like Benny and the Jets sort of like rhythmic thing going on.
Okay.
But all done in the same studio. So like, I think as long as like on records, as long as your drums sound the same and your voice sounds the same, most people are gonna like not think about the fact that everything else sounds a little different from song to song.
Yeah.
That's
The
true.
drums are
like
huge.
these 2 kind of rocks. 100%.
Yeah.
Some guys can like mesh acoustic drums with electric drums. Like case in point, like Born in the USA, that record's got like real drums on it, and then all of a sudden it'll have like a drum machine or something.
Yeah.
Or it feels like that. And like doing that seems really tough because drums are such a staple on a record. Like if you, in my opinion, you should just like set up one set of drums and the whole record should be done like that.
Yeah.
But like that's just like the way I've done it. So
Okay. No, I feel like that works a lot, especially with the style that you're doing. I feel like when it comes to like certain pop albums, like they're gonna do different things. But yeah, I definitely like. There are bands that if I just heard the drums, like I could tell you who the band was. Like if you just played the drum track, I'd be like, oh, I know that's Van Halen. Like because Alex Van Halen played the drums so specifically, and like the sound was always the same on all their records. Like I feel like I could pick that out. But yeah.
There's a really good video of Buddy from Tame Impala, his name, Kevin Parker, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Kevin Parker.
He's talking about his favorite drum sounds, and he's just like sitting in a room and like playing them off his iPhone of his favorite records, and it's so cool because you don't realize like on his stuff how much he says he puts 90% of the time into drum sounds.
Wow. I mean,
it makes sense. It's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's a lot of time.
I always
It's
get so
it's
I
more
get
than I
so
put
frustrated.
into it.
I definitely don't put that much time into it. I should. Like you probably should because it shows in his records. Like it shows.
Oh yeah, these get world class drum tones, but
Or it might have been something like 90% on like drums and bass, but he said like that just that rhythmic like
this
backbone of the song's the most important thing. And
Well, he's a drummer, I think. So that makes that
Yeah.
also. I think that lines up with that too.
Yeah.
Damn good one too. That
Oh,
guy's
yeah.
very skilled at everything he does.
100%, man.
He's one of
Um,
those Renaissance men. Does it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're running out of time a little bit here, but I wanted to ask you one question because I love seeing all your different guitars that you have, right? So you have so many. If you were like going on a trip and this plane was like, you were going to an island and you were going to stay there forever. It was just you, right? And you could only bring one guitar. Which one do you bring in?
That's so tough. I'll make the distinction right away. There's an electric that I'd bring. Like I have a blue Strat that's
Okay.
right there.
Yeah.
It's like a '62 reissue, whatever. That's my favorite guitar.
Okay.
But if I'm going desert island, I'd have to go acoustic because you got to write a song.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah.
In that case, let me take my headphones off for a second.
Okay.
One second. So this is I'll show it off first. This is a '67 Gibson J50.
Whoa. That's cool.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yes, the story with that, it's my grandpa's guitar. He was the second owner. Bought it back in the day and like didn't really care much for it like throughout its entire life. It was
Yeah.
just kind of like the guitar that sat around the house.
Yeah.
Obviously like a nice guitar, but it would just be like going and buying a like $500 guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's it's kind of just stuck around in the family, and he loaned it to me to make a record like about 2 years ago, and he just kind of let me keep it for a while. So
That's so cool.
this is the one
Oh.
for me. Like everything I write pretty much comes out of this guitar,
That's so
and
cool, man.
it's irreplaceable. So
Mm.
and to get guitar nerdy, after '65, Gibson went to the thinner nut, and is like they're not as desirable. They're like half the price of
Okay.
pre-65.
Huh.
I know
But
nothing
I
about
personally love the thin nut. It like just feels like my guitar. So that's the
it.
one.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's awesome.
that happens. You'll like attach. I don't know about you. I always like attach like part of me to like the specific instruments, and like when I pick them up, like especially with songwriting, I'll be like, oh, like you feel kind of at home with certain instruments versus other ones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I don't know if
I
you
agree
guys
with
get
you.
that way.
There's certain ones that feel like as much as they feel like your voice as much as your voice does. Like,
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean,
Like
yeah.
you know how you're like like obviously you have your voice and that's it.
Uh-huh.
That instrument, like that one there, and really only that one. And then actually recently I picked this up on Reverb. It's a 1965 Epiphone Granada.
Yeah. That's so
Oh
cool.
yeah, that thing's sick, dude. I saw some of your videos playing that. It was like,
Dude, it's
I'm a fan.
it was such a risk because I got it on Reverb for it was a steal, but the guy was like, it was kind of a sad story. The original owner out in Edmonton, he had onset Alzheimer's conditions and had to sell all his guitars.
Oh,
So
man.
the owner of the shop told me that story, and I was like, well, that's as sad as it is. It's like this guitar needs a new home, and hopefully
Yeah.
it'll, like I'll make some
Yeah.
memories with it too. And that's something that people like to debate if vintage guitars sound better than new ones, but
Mhm.
the story means so much more than any of that. Like this guitar has
Yeah.
been a guitar for 60 years.
Yeah.
A new guitar was a tree last year, so it's like
Mhm.
there's something about a thing existing for that long. It's very special.
Dude, I totally agree. I feel
Yeah.
like with buying a new guitar that is styled like after an old guitar, I feel like I'd much rather like find like something like that where it's a guitar that's been used and that is like, has a story behind it. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you.
Having said that, the Strat I have is like relict, as they say.
Okay.
So it's all like fake beat up,
Okay.
which people have their opinions on. I personally love it because it's an expensive guitar that I can go to a gig and not worry about. Like if someone
Yeah.
spills a drink or like I bang it against an amp, like I'm not too worried about it. So
Right.
that's kind of nice.
Yeah. No, I like that.
These
Oh,
things are
nice.
tools, man. You got to use them. Like
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah, I feel like you should play old guitars. They're guitars.
If
You
you
play
can.
them. Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, some aren't meant to be played. Like I know there's a video of somebody. It's the guy from Queens of the Stone Age. He's playing George Harrison's guitar.
The Rosewood Telecaster.
Yeah.
saw
You know the video, and he's like, I can't play this. Take it away from me.
Yo, I have so much respect for that guy. That's another influence of mine. That like Queens of the Stone Age is one of my favorite bands
They're
of all time.
amazing. They're so
Yeah.
good.
I saw him back on the Villains tour and like Royal Blood.
Oh wow.
It was just excellent.
That's so cool.
I'm so jealous. I wish I saw him. I only got into him like last year and a half. So obviously,
How
no
far
chance.
have you gone? Have you gone all the records or a few? Or
I think I've done like 4 now, and
Okay,
everyone I love all of them. I did. I started on their 2012 one, or what was that one? It wasn't Villains, just Clockwork. I started on that one.
that might be like not for like OG fans or like the original stuff, but like that is such a spectacular record.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my! It sucked me right in.
That's like
The
their
first
in Rainbows.
track. Yeah.
Like,
I
late
would say that.
career,
Yeah,
really
and it's like
well done.
sparkly compared to like maybe some of their older stuff, and yeah, no, that makes especially the production. I definitely hear that like
Yeah, bro.
production
Elton
wise.
John's on that record.
Dude,
He is.
anything
Yeah,
else
he
John is
sings on. I forget the song, but he's on that. Dave Grohl drums on it. It's like it's just
Oh my
so
god.
many like, great people on that.
Oh, so cool.
God, I love
I
it.
could geek out
Yeah,
forever. But I think we're out of time though.
Yeah, no, that's sadly all the time that we have. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
We really appreciate it. Anytime you want to come on again, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, make sure everyone go listen to Rhyme and Reason, which is out now. Make sure to follow Gavin on all of his social medias, Instagram, TikTok, and be looking out for that new EP and new single coming out soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was so nice talking to you, and hopefully we'll stay in touch, and hopefully we'll see you down the road, maybe at a show sometime.
100%. I'm hopefully starting a podcast soon as well. So you
Oh,
guys can
nice.
come
Sweet.
on and we'll trade off.
That'd be
Hell
great.
yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Gentlemen, that was very fun. Thank you.
Yeah, so much fun. All right, we'll talk to you later, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much to Gavin.
Thank you so much to. I knew it took you a second to get in the zone for it.
You bastard. You saw me like.
Yeah, I knew you had to. Like, so I was like, let's ruin this.
Oh my God. All right. Thank you so much to Gavin for coming on the pod. It was great talking to him. We just like lost track of time. Like we were so busy talking about music and all the stuff that we love that we just completely lost track of time. So
into it.
thank you guys for sticking through with us. We just have a quick topic to discuss to close out the show.
Yeah, and well, actually, we have 2. I forgot about this. I hate you.
oh,
I hate you.
I know what this is. Yes.
I
Continue.
hate you. I don't know what came over you to think that you should put that I love astrology in the in the title of the last
What is on your finger?
video. What do you mean?
Put your hand on the screen right now. You trying the Chinese finger trap thing again? After we talked about the dicks in it?
Well, I couldn't fit mine in, so I got my fingers.
Well, I'm glad you couldn't fit it in that thing, Lucas. I'd be very concerned for you.
No, it's a coin roll up thing. I've been rolling coins recently.
You idiot.
Uh,
You imbecile.
But okay, don't change the topic.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to get off.
You dirty bastard. You trying to make it seem like I'm a whore of scopes.
You.
Fuck you.
You.
All right, tell your story.
I'm so sorry. It's too good not like that is such a clickbait title.
I very lightly backed it up. Very lightly.
That's true.
I just said it's not all bad. That's all I said.
You're right. You're right. So I guess hey, I had to do what I had to do in the name of the pod. So
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Pod.
the Holy Pod. Not Tide Pods. Very different. Delicious though. All right. We're getting off track here.
What happened to you, Aaron? What's
Well,
going on?
the story today is actually I'm gonna talk about our sponsor quick because I haven't actually talked about them in a
right,
while,
yeah.
and that's very bad of me. So I should be. So our last story here is brought to you by The Working Grain. The Working Grain is an individually owned small business that specializes in custom handcrafted woodwork. From coasters to cutting boards and more. Contact Nick for a quote. You can find more info at The Working Grain on Instagram and The Working Grade Woodworks on Facebook. Their stuff is amazing. Definitely go check them out. I have a recording desk made by them. Absolutely stunning. Definitely go give them a follow. All right, so getting into what happened to me this week, it's honestly the most insane thing I think that's happened to me in years. I still am not over it. Like I went MIA for like 2 days because I just needed to decompress. Like I couldn't do anything. It was really bad. So Monday night, I had a dream. And this dream was so vivid. Oh, by the way, to everyone listening, Lucas already knows the story. So like,
Yeah, no, and it really did like fuck with him because I sent him. So you laid. Let's be honest. You kind of laid in my girlfriend in that last podcast a little bit.
I really did. I'm sorry about that. I really am.
No, she knew. No, she took it good. She thought it was funny, but she sent him like a yelling at him Snapchat,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you didn't even respond. You're just like, I don't care. You're like, I can't deal with that right now.
I literally said, hey, listen, I don't care. I can't.
He got scolded, and you're like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, this is, yeah, no, thank you for saying that because that sets it up for how bad it was because I would have cared about that any other day.
Right, yeah, no.
So I have my vivid dream, right? Now, in this dream, it is about my ex-girlfriend, okay? This dream is so incredibly vivid, and her family is in it. Now, the weird thing is that when I woke up, I felt this like need to like contact her, right? Because it was so strange. It felt like something was wrong. And so I decided, all right, it's been years since I've talked to her. So like if I text her, just say like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like it should be fine. And so I did. I said like, hey, how are you? Like, I know it's been forever. I would love to catch up if you want to. And she responded. And we were starting to have a little bit of a nice conversation, right? And then, we started to talk about some other things that were more sad and more emotional. And then, so we're like, we've been talking for a few hours at this point, just like catching up about things. And then I check Facebook. And everyone, this is where it gets horrible. Her sister, because I'm not friends with her on social media, her sister posted that their grandma died that day.
Oh.
And I saw this and immediately just went, oh no, because this poor girl had to deal with her goddamn ex-boyfriend who hasn't texted her in years, contacting her on the day of her grandma's death.
Oh, that's so bad.
Absolutely horrible. And then the worst part happened. The realization that in my dream that night, her grandma had spoken to me.
Oh, that's weird.
I can't remember what she said, and I'm so mad because it was probably extremely important. I probably needed to know what was said.
She's reaching out to you.
Which I don't know why. Definitely caused this woman a lot of sadness, so I don't know why.
Well, you know what? In a way, you did actually reach out. So she got halfway there.
True. I mean, yeah. Maybe it was her telling me to reach out. I don't know. It was so strange. And like,
You didn't tell her, did you?
Oh, I told her. I told her about the dream. How could I not?
I guess you have to.
At that point, it's too weird to not tell. Like, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, I just saw this. Like, I'm so sorry that I texted you today. Like, you're going through so much. I'm so sorry. And then after that, so that was like one message. And then the next one was me just saying, hey, I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, I got to tell you, this is the craziest shit that's happened to me. And she was like, Aaron, like, this is the craziest. Like, what are you talking about? This is so weird.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I wish I was making it up. I wish I was making it up because I really don't think I could. I don't think I can make that up. I'm still shook from it. Like, I don't even want to go to bed because I'm like, who am I going to kill next? Who's next? Who's going to talk to me? And then, like, every person I have a dream about, do I have to call them?
Well, you can't call the grandma.
Okay. Do I have to call the person that, what if it's just like no one I know really well, but people that are like in the lives of people I have known?
Oh, like one Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
Thing away?
Yeah.
Like this person you know, they know.
Am
You
I?
know what I'm saying?
Am I the gateway between life and death?
Aaron, you are the Grim Reaper.
Am I the Grim Reaper?
Where's your scythe? Do you have a scythe?
I do actually at home.
No, you don't.
It's like I had it for Halloween one year.
And you kept it.
Yeah, it's like plastic. It's not like a real scythe.
Well, apparently that doesn't matter.
What if I go home and it turned to be real? I'm afraid my life is going down a dark path.
No, Aaron. Well, has this ever happened before? Have you ever had?
No, I mean, I feel like I would remember if it happened before, but I can't remember. So I literally, it happened. I said to her, hey, like, go be with your family. Obviously, like, go do what you have to do right now. I'm sorry. And then I just sat there in my chair for the entire night. I didn't move. I didn't do anything. I just sat
spaced
there.
out.
I spaced out because I was honestly terrified. I was like, I can't believe that this woman who just passed away today was in my dream last night talking to me. And it was someone I haven't seen. Like, I hadn't seen my ex-girlfriend's grandma like longer than when we broke up. So like, it's been years since I've seen this woman. It's just, it was so strange.
I think there's something to that. I'm very not super. I'm a little superstitious.
I'm a little stitious.
I'm a little stitious. Yeah. But I'm not super. But I don't know. I feel like I've heard of dreams like being related to things like that before, and I don't know what that is, but there's something. I think.
I'm just really sad that it's me. Don't let it be me again. I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, this is like, I can't believe today of all days. What the odds have to be 1 in a trillion.
Yeah. I don't know why a trillion, but you're probably right.
A bajillion, a fake number?
Yeah. I think that sounds more accurate.
Yeah. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be occurring. I can't believe it.
I think that. Well, what if you ever thought about lucid dreaming? Maybe you could bring her back from the dead.
No, please. I don't want to become like, I don't want to do that. Nope. I don't want to do that. I can't do it. What is that called? Is that called like a necromancer?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Necromancy. I can see you got necromancer in you. I can see it.
No. That is insulting. How dare you?
I'm saying that you are a life giver, Aaron, and
how's that a
life? As an insult.
I don't. Well, hold on. I'm not. You're saying I can actually like bring them back to life to live, or like just to talk to them.
I think talking to them would be like a medium. A necromancer would be like.
I think I'm more of a medium.
Reanimating. Yeah, because what you did was definitely medium stuff. But I'm saying you can transition into necromancer if you want.
Oh.
See,
what? It's like Pokemon, like the next evolution.
The ball's in your court.
Oh
right now.
No.
Maybe that's what Grandma was trying to tell you. Bring me back to life.
Am I the Antichrist? No, this is bad. So anyway, everyone listening, thank you for listening to that whole thing because I had to tell as many people as I can because I feel like I'm insane.
Yeah, that's weird. Definitely.
I called into my podcast that I listen to, and I hope they respond to it because it's so bad. Like I was like, "Hey, this happened to me. You guys got to help me out here."
That'd be great. I'd love to see what they say.
Yeah, I hope so.
If they respond, because that's a pretty good story.
It really is.
What's the podcast?
It's called KFC Radio.
Oh yeah. They're good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Do you have any last things before we cut it off for today?
I'd say don't go to sleep tonight.
Okay.
For like to save lives.
Yep. I will be calling anyone I have a dream about. You will be called to make sure. Hey, is everyone in your family okay? Like, are you good?
No, Aaron, don't dream. Do not dream about my family, please.
So okay. I won't dream about your family. Granted, I've never met your family.
Good.
So like
that
you
ensures
should
their
keep it that
safety.
way. You should keep it that way. That's important.
I don't want you meeting my family. Aaron, right now I'm telling you, I don't ever meet my family.
Okay, done. I won't. If it could save them, sure. What if I'm meant to be trapped in my apartment forever? What if quarantine is still? No, I'm getting too conspiracy theory here. But like,
That's too far.
what if
You've
they're
lost
like,
me there.
well, someone's like, hey, don't meet anyone else because you're gonna just start killing people on accident because of your dreams.
Might be a superpower.
That sounds like an
But-
evil superpower, not really a
Hey, I didn't say what side of the line you're on.
true. No, you're right.
Uh,
Okay. Anyway,
yeah, we're rambling at this point.
yeah,
Let's
but
wrap it up.
yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. We have 2 interviews next week. Very excited for that. So make sure you're following Gavin on all of his socials, and make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as well. So make sure you're following us there, and we will see you next week.